Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again. That's right, it's time for another Korean Weekly. This time, we're kicking off Weekly 8. A huge surge in signups and participation has this set up to be, I think, the most fun one that I'll have casted so far. I mean, there were a bunch that I didn't cast because my life was kind of crazy, but now we're here, and this is the coolest one that I'm a part of, so I'm very excited about that, and I hope that that's a justifiable thing in the bottom right. You know her, you love her. It's Shopify Rebellion's Scarlett. Kicking off the first round of the bracket against, well, if you've ever been to Artosis's stream, you should be well aware, GG E-Mini19, also known as, I think he's also known as the White Artosis, just an absolute god of Protoss strategy, and, well, you know, hosting is probably add that in there. So I think we've got a pretty clear favorite coming into this series. It's a best of 3. But I'm excited to see what happens. If you hear some squeaking in the background, Lewis has a squeaky great white shark. So don't think of it as background noise. Think of it as him being like my co-caster going, yeah, there you go. So thank you, Lewis. Yes, I agree. GG E-Mini, definitely top tier of the North American StarCraft scene. Also, he's done a little GSL commentary, you know, Gemini. He's somebody that you see around. If you're a part of the StarCraft scene, you probably know who he is. So this week's lineup for the Korean Cup is fantastic. Last week we had a lot of players unable to show up. I know we were talking about how there were some schedule changes and all that jazz. I don't have any blame to put on anybody, but we just didn't really have a lot of games. That's all. You know, whatever the reason it is, we didn't really have as many games. So the thing that's got me probably the most jazzed up is that checked in and playing and participating, and I confirmed they were all in the lobbies and everything, because I was just really excited to cast the top Korean players, because I've seen that Maru has won these, you know, Hero won the last 2 weeks in a row, absolute friggin' psychopath, coming back from down 0-3 or 0-2, excuse me, against Dark. And don't worry, Hero is playing this week too, so we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. Katie's making hand gestures towards me. She wants to see the oracles put on patrol, in a circle. It's very important that they're in a circle, as Hero has been doing that throughout all of his matches. But for the purposes of this game, just to give you guys a little update what is going on, it's PvZ. I'm not gonna go too deep because, let's face it, that's not what you expect from me here. It's a Stargate opener. I'm going to anticipate some oracles. Scarlett, you know, she's known for a lot of things. I'm just gonna get it out of the way. Creep spread, yeah, we know, but she uses lots of lings. She likes to get out on the map. She likes to be annoying, look for run-bys, and just generally ruin your day with Zerglings. So opening oracles is always going to be a very sensible move against Scarlett, because you're gonna need something to deal with those lings. They probably won't end up being enough, but you still want something. You still want a little bit. So got a couple of adepts to start things off to hold the wall together. And like I was saying, not only do we have Hero playing this week, we've also got Dark again, but and this was the big thing for me, we didn't have the Korean Terrans last week. We didn't have any of them. This week we've got Byun, Maru, and Gumiho. So all 3 flavors. You know, you've got your absolutely cracked out micro guys, you've got your strategical meme lord guys. Gumiho is seeded to the second round because I believe he's had some pretty good success in these cups so far. The minimum prize pool, I believe, for the Korean Weekly is at $400. You can contribute via the Patreon that they have, as well as the Matcherino they do weekly. All of those are linked from the bracket, which if you're watching this live right now, that's on the top of the chat. It's on the top of the chat, so it's pinned there. If anybody asks, you just let them know. So this is a first round match, and typically we see some of the more lopsided series because anybody can sign up for these. But Gemini getting a lot of damage in early on. 8 drones killed. The oracles are still kicking, so manages to pick up quite a bit of damage with the adept. Scarlett still able to maintain the drone lead and continue to reinforce that drone production. For Gemini, the biggest thing here is that we haven't seen him go out to get that 3rd base. So yes, it's some damage. Yes, you have 3 oracles, but how much can he really afford to commit to this? Is it going to be just a big push to follow this up? And maybe it is. So an immortal produced, and now a chrono boost onto the warp prism. There's no Twilight Council, there's no forge, so the option for any kind of upgrade is completely off the table. Scarlett's going to send an overseer in and scout, but she already knows he doesn't have a third base. So you're 3-base Zerg, you're against a 2-base toss. If you're saturated on drones, this isn't a situation where she needs economy anymore. She doesn't really need to go for a 4th base either until that 3rd goes up, or, and well, okay, I mean, he's gonna start it, but I need to see a forge or a Twilight Council before I'm sold, personally. I don't know about you guys. All right, show me the Carfax. Show me that that's an American TV commercial thing that nobody will get, but it's just one of those things where you pay them to give you a good rating, or they use it against you. Okay, it's a front. It's a racket. That's all I'm trying to say. You gotta be careful. You gotta be real careful. So this Gemini does push forward. He's got a bunch of stalkers. He brings the sentries and the oracles. He took that 3rd base behind this. He got the forge. He got the Twilight Council booted up. But this is a lot of units from Scarlett. All of the oracles are dead. And this isn't one of those games where she has a bunch of upgraded lings, but she has just enough, and there really is no buffer. There really is no buffer for the Zerglings. It's just stalkers with the immortal in that warp prism. So Scarlett is going to push him away, but he's only just now restarting his probe production. So even though that 3rd nexus is about to finish, Gemini only has 48 workers. So this is a scenario where he's going to take some time. He's going to have to invest a lot of resources to get that mineral line going. He didn't build them in advance to transfer over because he was going for a really sharp attack. So what's coming up next? It's +1 blink, battery cannon. You love to see it. Neo Humanity is one of those maps that actually does have some choke points that you can try to use, some defensible spots a little bit easier, but this is still going to be a game against a formidable foe. Scarlett gets the lings around the side. Overcharge is popped on the battery, but she doesn't really have enough Ravagers to do anything crazy. Oh no. Oh boy. Scarlett's going to send Gemini to the Shadow Realm. If these swarm hosts just drop a big one and snipe one of these bases, I'm gonna get nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Not that I really have any incentive to lie to you about swarm host killing a nexus being disgusting. It's really, I mean, did you hear what I just said? Yeah, I think we're clear. So Gemini's gonna move out. He's got stalkers. He's got +1. He's gonna clear some creep. I think this is a good play if you can force Scarlett to use the swarm host defensively. Also, the observer coming into this position sees, hey, we've got a lot of these. So for Scarlett, it doesn't even just need to be swarm host harass. It can just be a big frontal assault with everything and the locust. So kind of operating as a buffer. We'll have to see now. That wave is going to come in. We know the locusts are a formidable foe. Force fields will push them back, but some of them actually still didn't land yet. So Scarlett just brings everything, drops the corrosive bile onto the shield battery. I use that middle camera. I use the middle mouse button to move my camera around, and sometimes it just jumps. I'm sorry, guys. Links away back towards the Nexus. Force fields are going to come in on the roaches. The swarm host continuing to send those locusts in. And oh yeah, by the way, did I mention it's Scarlett? There are lings in the mineral line. So for all of this, Scarlett basically burns a few of her roaches and a wave of locust. So not really losing any supply. Still maxed out. Still maxed out. Refilling the ling supply onto these roaches that are now crossing the map as well. Sends one stalker to blink forward to try and get all the locusts to swoop. I actually really like that play out of Gemini. It's pretty clever. It's pretty cute. I don't know that it's enough. I mean, it's not enough, just to be clear, but it was cute. I did like that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, Scarlett, did she intentionally clump it up to eat that one there? Absolutely brutal. Absolutely perfect. Drops the biles. Oh, triple kill. GG. Scarlett takes the first game in this best of 3. Now that is a start to a fun evening of StarCraft. And I'm going to be getting the VOD recordings of this much better than last time. Hi, if you're watching on YouTube. I'm sorry about this dead air. I'm not going to edit this and cut it out because it makes you unsure of how long this match actually takes when you look at the length of the video. That's right. 3,000 IQ plays. Can't stop me. I can't be stopped. I won't be stopped. All right, we're in the game 2 lobby. Grezvan. I think there's an expectation here. Scarlett, definitely the stronger of the two players, but it's always fun to see a nice little matchup of some American StarCraft players going up against each other, regardless of the context. We're in a Korean weekly cup, but as far as StarCraft players you may associate with the Korean scene, Scarlett, Gemini, both up there. So let's do it. Let's get into game 2. We're loaded in. And in the top left, we have the red Zerg player leading 1-0. She is Scarlett. And her opponent in the bottom right, the teal Protoss player, Gemini. Can you make less units this time, Scarlett? Okay. And less creep. She's gonna say, okay, now is she gonna cheese him now? Is this a bait? Does he think that if she agrees, then she won't do it and she'll trick him into thinking that she's gonna attack early? I don't know. The level of mind games at play here probably could only be compared to the volatility of the YouTube comments on the Gangnam Style video. You know, all sorts of crazy stuff over there. It's like StarCraft general chat. You know, some people just get out of bed. They don't have plans for the week. You know, their kids are off at summer camp. The wife's out to brunch. And this guy's like, you know, I just want to boot up BattleNet, go into StarCraft general chat, just talk about politics for 7 hours straight. You know, I'm not going to play any games. I'm not going to do anything. I think we might have to ask them for help on understanding. Yeah. It's deep. Takes a commitment. Takes a commitment to be there. Spawning pool, not really an unusual time. We don't have the Korean, oh, I'm gonna make you take your natural somewhere else. That doesn't really come into play this game. And as far as North American Protoss players go, Neeb, I believe he's been advancing his education or his career, what have you. Not really gonna be seeing him too much anymore. So Gemini is one of your guys. Gemini's gonna be one of your guys to look at. Obviously, I think the big boy over in NA is Estrella. But yeah, we'll just have to see. I mean, I don't have any analysis for this game. Our players are talking about what builds they can do with each other in the chat. You guys have about as much of an idea as I do about what they actually mean when they say these things. Charlie Chipotle in chat says, imagine playing games of StarCraft when you control in general chat instead. I too download 40 gigabyte video games so that I can open their public lobbies and just let my feelings out, you know. The other day I reinstalled Counter-Strike just so I could get into that main lobby chat, and I just let everybody know that I wasn't sure if I wanted chicken or beef on my taco. So I let everybody playing the deathmatch round with me vote. You guys will be shocked to hear that they told me to yeah, well, I can't say it here, but their advice was not very helpful. Stargate coming in for Gemini again in the natural expansion. Things that we expect. Nothing surprising. The opener last game felt like it got a lot of damage done. I think if the third base started when he moved out, maybe we see something different. Okay. Whoa. Hang on. It's a Void Ray? What? Okay, so Gemini's opening up with a Void Ray. So yes, he can kill the... He can go for the Overlord. But... Okay, well, let's just see. Let's just see what happens here. Maybe he wants to try to take a faster third. Doesn't want to have to rely on Oracle energy. It's really like a tomato kind of situation. I'm not really sure that we have to commit either way. It's like catsup versus ketchup. Nobody actually knows what the difference is. Anybody that claims to probably has an agenda. Let's face it. Third Nexus is gonna start up for Gemini. The Zerglings see it. Scarlett, very aware. And it is an Oracle follow-up. So the Void Ray is more like, I don't want you to Nidus me. I want to have a Void Ray in case something like, I don't know, Swarm Hosts or Roaches. One Void Ray won't really do anything against Swarm Hosts, but it can try. I mean, look at that. He turns on his little microwave beam. The Zergling gets to medium rare and just runs away. Except, as you guys know, because Zerg are made with dark magic, they uncook themselves over time. It's very strange. No one can really explain it, but that Zergling will be perfectly healthy in a minute or two. Unless it dies. Oracle going into the natural might join him. Gotta be careful. Scarlett's queens on the move. Sickest Oracle, sickiest, not sickest. Oracle micro of my life. Must be the Oracle bug. Wow, she had that locked and loaded. She's gonna start a lair, sending to Hup right now. There you go, Hup Saya. He's a notorious investigator of injustice done to Protoss players. Also, North American Protoss. Loves playing Stalkers. Absolutely loves playing versus people who rush Cyclones and battle cruisers. Give that Zergling a tickle. Go for it. Just a little shove. So, Gemini this time around, he gets a third base. Saturation on it is beginning slowly but surely. I like this wall off. If you know one thing, if this game goes long, Scarlett will be throwing Banelings into your mineral line. It's not a question of if, it's simply a matter of will you live long enough for her to feel like it's worth the effort to kill all of your drones, because if not, oh, Lamau. You know what? I'll just add this in for you. There you go. There you go. Seems like it's that kind of game. Seems like it's that kind of game we got going on here. Scarlett with the double smiley, but using the colon from the in-game chat. Wow, the metagame for the posting in this has just been incredible. And I know we've got a lot of usage of sound effects for this cast, but I mean, do you guys see the same thing I see? Do you guys, gals, whatever it is that you refer to yourself, I really don't mind. Do you see this? It's a bit silly. So Gemini's got Archons, we've got Zealots, we've got Adepts, a big push potentially on the table, but I mean, without a Warp Prism, I don't really know how much you're hoping for. So I'm guessing that Gemini's gonna recall once he feels like this army's gonna die. Just gonna try and focus down the hatch, get it very low. The transfuse coming out from Scarlett, but is gonna be routed. And I suppose the Baneling speed isn't done yet, and that's, I was like, okay, he can't really step too far on the creep because the Banelings will just crush this army with the Lings, but Baneling speed still a little bit behind. We have a Hive on the way. This game's delivering. I'm excited. I do just want to point out that Gemini did ask for Scarlett to not spread creep this game, and she is spreading creep. So, you know, I'm not going to lead you to any conclusions, but I just wanted you to know. Wings go over to the fourth base in the northeast. We're gonna get some Zealots warped in. All right. Robo Bay, 6 more Overlords. Scarlett just trying to free up the rest of her supply for the game, and she's killing her own creep tumors. Oh my! No. I feel like I'm the one getting trolled now. Oh my god. Okay, well, it's Friday night, guys. This is the first match of the night. Seems to be delivering big time. We got a big Lingbane army. Gemini has made it. He's made it up to 4 bases, but there is a lot of Zerg on the map. Some of these Zealots will run into a few Lings on the north side. Scarlett getting 2-1 and Adrenal. These Zealots completely surrounded. A few more. Just gonna run up front, just trying to clear the creep. Gemini's, this one Zealot's trying to take credit for all of this, but you know, I'm not entirely sure that that's the way it went down. The Lings are like, all right, how many? Oh no. So looks like Scarlet's Smite is off cooldown. This 4th Nexus is gonna look a whole lot like the 7-minute Cloud Drake. Let's see it, ladies and gentlemen. +2 is about to finish. I don't think she's gonna wait for it though. This is enough Banelings to blow up, well, anything. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Some of those probes do live to fight another day. You love to see it. 29, that's a lot of Banelings. Now, does she reload, or do these Lings just chill? Do we wait? She doesn't need to Baneling bust this base, obviously. The Lings can just go kill the Nexus, so. When you've got 109 Lings just all over the map, and you've got Adrenal Glands by the 10-minute mark, it's only 20 seconds away. This is still a dangerous army from Gemini, though. I mean, we basically just got mass We've got Mass Zealot Archon versus Mass Ling Bane. The Ultras are on the way. Ooh, Gemini blowing up his own Zealots with that Nova. Ooh, cheeky. I think the Zealot meat shield seems like it's kind of been withered down. Disruptor's going to try and hit the Banes. Actually does get a great shot onto the center mass, but with the Ultras and the Queens, the Void Ray not going to be able to do a whole lot against this army. You'd love to have that prismatic alignment on the Ultra list, but gets baited into the Queens, and GG is called. Scarlett takes the 2-0. That wraps up our first series of the night.